IBM is collaborating with Packet Clearinghouse and the Global Cyber Alliance to create a new DNS service called Quad 9. But what is Quad 9? For Tech Republic and ZDNet, I'm Dan Patterson with IBM's Paul Griswold. He is the Director of Strategy and Product Management at IBM X-Force Red. Paul, thanks a lot for your time today. I wonder if you could explain why managing the DNS is so important for cybersecurity and to keep companies safe, and what this new combination of the different alliances and protocols means.
Sure. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me. So we're real happy to be launching this service with PCH and GCA. And essentially what we're doing is we're bringing a new secure DNS service available to anyone on the internet that leverages threat intelligence from IBM and others to protect people from going to malicious sites.
And how does the technology there work? Does the INS check or the DNS check a destination before allowing access to a site? Or what is the technology here?
Yeah, sure. So the way it works is by using the Quad 9 DNS server, which is 9.9.9.9. Essentially what you'll be doing is all of your requests for a website will go out to our secure DNS server. We'll look and make sure where you want to go is actually a safe site. And if it is, we'll let you go. You won't even notice that we're there. But if you try to go to a malicious site, we'll block that, and your computer will actually never even touch the thing that's trying to infect you.
So how is this different than, many ISPs, including Comcast and Verizon and even Google, have got into the game of protecting the end user? How is this different?
Yeah, great question. So everyone uses a DNS server, whether or not they know it or not. It's either something that's provided by your ISP, or there are lots of third-party options out there as well. But what makes Quad 9 different is actually three different things. One is the security aspect, which we mentioned. We're checking every DNS request and making sure the site you're going to is a legitimate site. It's not trying to infect you with malware or ransomware or all the other bad stuff that might be out there. Another big aspect of Quad 9 is privacy. So we are not using your DNS requests or the websites you're going to form any type of profile information on you. We don't track you. We don't build out information about where you go on the internet. We don't even save your computer's IP address to a log file. It doesn't even get written to disk ever. So our main focus there is just making sure you're going somewhere in a secure manner and not trying to sell you advertisements or otherwise build a profile of you. And then the third aspect really has to do with speed of Quad 9. We're available in 70 different points of presence all across the world as of our launch last week. And we'll be expanding that out over the coming months to be in even more places. So it's truly a worldwide service all over the place that has real high performing servers behind it.
And in what way do you use a blacklist or a whitelist? And in what way does the company utilize machine learning to determine what sites are safe and how to allow what types of access?
Sure. So at the core of the protection, it is a blacklist, but the real key component is how the blacklist is generated. So one of the blacklists used by Quad 9 comes from IBM's X-Force, and we do a couple of different things to determine if a site is bad. One is we do analytics on the site name itself. So if it looks like a legitimate company's site, but it's got a slight misspelling or otherwise combining things that make it look a little bit deceptive, a lot of times we can figure out just from the site name itself that it's a malicious site. We also actually go to the sites themselves and we look at the construction of the site, how it's put together, what types of things it's asking for, and then we can also use that information to generate the blacklist as well.
Could this also protect customers? Net neutrality is probably on everyone's mind in technology right now. Could this protect customers, whether they're corporate or consumer, from their ISP gathering information and potentially throttling or adjusting traffic?
In a way, it could. I mean, with the Quad 9 service, the requests to the websites you're going to aren't going to your ISP. They're going to Quad 9 instead. So they won't be able to build a profile of you based on the DNS traffic, but ISPs are going to know where you go anyway. So, it's only one piece of the puzzle.
Right. So I wonder if you could help us figure out the benefits of installing some of this technology for a corporation, and how can this help my company stay secure and manage privacy across tens or hundreds or thousands of profiles inside the company?
Sure. So with Quad 9, we're really focused on SMBs and consumers. So that's our primary focus. There is some corporate aspect of it as well, where you could use this as your DNS server for your company. For larger organizations, we expect that they'll still maintain their own DNS servers just because they have VPNs and other types of things that have sites that we're just not going to know about that are internal to the network that the Quad 9 is just not going to have. But what we do with corporate customers is the same type of block that we're feeding to Quad 9. A lot of times our corporate customers are already consuming that as well. So we're taking information that was typically only available to secure really high-end enterprises and making that available for the masses.
And what are the best ways to get started? How can I install or start using this DNS service?
So it's actually a very simple configuration change that you only have to do once, but most people have never gone in and changed their DNS server. So we have instructions on quad9.net that shows you how to do it for various types of systems. But typically what you do is you log into your router, you find the DNS setting, you change it to 9.9.9.9, and then you never have to configure anything else again.
Those are magic and golden words in technology. Paul Griswold is the Director of Strategy and Product Management at IBM X-Force Red. Paul, I wonder if you could leave us with a small forecast or a prediction on emerging cybersecurity trends that we might experience in the next, say, 12, 18, and 36 months. We've seen this rise of ransomware, which is not new, but recently hit the mainstream. We've seen the rise of DDoS attacks, which are not new, but really hit the mainstream. What's next in terms of cyber threats?
So I think there are a couple of things. One is particularly with the ransomware outbreaks that we've seen recently, like WannaCry. These are things that are not super sophisticated. They're not necessarily new types of attacks, but what makes them a little bit different is that they're exploiting very recently disclosed vulnerabilities to replicate all across the globe in a matter of hours. So I think we'll see more of those types of things where you're combining relatively old attacks with new methods to deploy them and replicate them quickly. Another thing I think we'll see more of is attacks against IoT devices, because with IoT devices, those are essentially running some sort of operating system, but a lot of times they're rushed to market, and chances are there wasn't a whole lot of thought put into how you actually patch them and maintain them. So we've seen some of that with Mirai and other attacks in the past 18 months. I think that's only going to get worse as time goes on.